Welcome back. Today we tour and release my new Bf-109.
Warning, this video contains 3D imported objects. May be hazardous to your health.
Let's get started. So before we check out the new plane, let's just see where it started. This is a 3D imported object. As you can see, kind of ugly. Not really much going on here, but it has some nice shape clues that we can use to improve our build. So let's go look at the original 109 I built. So this is the old Bf-109 G1, can't remember, I think it's a G1. But yeah, let me go ahead and switch modes here. Alright, so you can see the original build here with the imported object on the left side, and you can see that the fuselage on my original build, handmade, was pretty straight, and you can see how the 3D model that's imported has a more gradual design on the fuselage, kind of steps down into the back end. However, if you look at my model, it's pretty straight, pretty flat, with only a little bit of steps on the bottom. So anyways, this was my original build, and I tried to make it look as close to the 109 as I could, using the blocks available, and my skills, and as well as lots and lots of pictures! Anyway, I really like how this came out. I think it's a nice looking little plane, but I wanted to go ahead and try 3D importing and see what I could do with something that was imported and giving me a lot of shape hints. So let's go take a look at the Bf-109 B1 imported model.
With enhanced manual labor. Biplanes. Biplanes. They're not biplanes at all.
Alright, so here's the 3D model that was imported. It's now been cleaned up. It has new wings, new wedges, and it has a nice step flowing fuselage on the back there. And the 3D imported model was very helpful in getting the look and feel right of the Bf-109. So overall, I think that 3D importing is pretty darn good for quickly getting the right shape and look of the fuselage, and then going back and cleaning it up and making it the way you want it to look. So if you're watching this video, this is now available for download, and I'm going to go ahead and see if I can fly it off into the sunset. No, I'm not going to land it, because we know I never land things. So let's just go through some features. Oh, before we do, let's go back to the other. Alright, so before we test this, let's go take a look at something I built for the next video, which is this microchip right here. I'm calling it the World War II fighter readouts, but I think I'm going to change the name. So what this is a fully configurable kind of readout thing where you can put your different things for safety throttles, limiters, warning fuel lights, gun sights, and more. But let's take a look at the chip itself, and you'll see that this chip is driving everything on this plane. So in the next video, we're going to go through and build a plane using just this component and seeing if it works properly, and hopefully I can go ahead and release this. And if you're interested in building planes, you can go ahead and use this and simply hook it up. So it has everything from altimeters to fuel to electricity to, gosh, lights and everything else. So I'll be doing another video on that, but I just want to show you this, and this will be in an upcoming video, and it'll be released for your use. All right, let's go test this. All right, so much like my other planes, I always put ladders on the side because I don't want to mess with handles. So we'll just go ahead and jump on the ladder, jump in, and shut the canopy. All right, so the cockpit is pretty nicely laid out. Not great, not realistic, but it's laid out so I can go ahead and test things and get that component working. You can, of course, configure it any way you want with that component, but this is the way I did it for testing. All right, so we have the inverters on for power. Turns on all the power inside the plane. And we have the throttle limiter. Because this plane has a two-bladed prop, it heats up pretty quick, and so the limiter will cut it down to the maximum throttle once the engine gets hot. So you'll see it over here. It will step down to 0.40, and that's as high as it can go without overheating the engine. All right, what else do we have? We have the starter, we have flaps, landing gear, lighting, and then we have generators. Okay, and we have throttle and prop pitch. Okay, so the component is also set up to use the up and down arrow keys to move the throttle, or you can use, of course, the buttons themselves. So I always like to have the arrow keys be the throttle to make sure that I can look where I'm going and throttle down or throttle up. On the pilot seat, you can see we have nav lights, landing lights, parking brakes, left brake, right brake. And I think that is it for the features inside. Oh, there's some stuff that needs to be painted still. We'll get that before we upload. Okay, so what do we have here? We have RPS, engine temp, Fuel level, overkill on fuel because it was running out. So it has more fuel than it should have. It should have like 89 gallons in this thing, but it burns through fuel, so it's carrying a lot more. We have the altitude in feet and the miles per hour, which is also settable on the component, so you can put it to kilometers if you want. But alright, so let's go ahead and get this started, which is simple as putting the prop pitch forward and hitting the starter. Alright, that's it. We can turn with the brakes 5 and 6, but I found that this plane doesn't like to turn currently too well. Maybe it's the wheels are too close together down here. So what I do have is the left and right arrow will change your back wheel. So kind of a cheat, but it works. Alright, let's go ahead and throttle up a little bit. I'll actually use the handle. Okay, moving right out. And so, do we have the limiter on? I always forget to turn that on. Yep, limiter's on. Okay, so once we get up in the air, you'll notice that it will have a lot of power, and as soon as that temperature rises, the limiter will kick in. Alright, oops, let's go ahead and get it going here. Also, you notice the slats are open right now on the front wing, and those were to prevent the plane from stalling. So they went back in right now because we're going fast enough. So now we're going up. And oops, this should be set at 0.10. So now we've got our speed going on, and we can see, where's it at here? Our engine temp is going up, up, up. So that's going to do the warning beep, and it's going to let us know that we're throttling down to 0.40 maximum. But that'll keep us aloft, and it's not too bad. So alright, so there she is. She's got her landing gear up. Slats are in. The throttle's being limited by the limiter. And that's it. She's ready to go. You can fly her around. Lots of fuel. Nice little plane, I think. So, yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn on the lights so we can see what that looks like. There we go. And there she is. I think that's it. That's all the features I can think of right now. Alright, well that's it for today. Go ahead and hit the bell so it goes ding dong when I upload a new video. And if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing. And I'll see you next time.
Bye!